Okay, guys, we are recording now. So, hey, thank you so much, everybody, for jumping on this webinar. I know it's Sunday evening, family time. Everybody's getting ready for work, or in the case of Paul, he doesn't have work and family time. For him, it's all family time. But I'm going to introduce a couple of folks to you that I think you definitely want to hear from. So, let me share my screen and then we can go ahead and get going. So as I'm getting ready, it looks like we have a full house. We've got 50 people here. So I'm always curious to see where people are calling in from. I know this particular webinar, we've got folks calling in, literally from everywhere. So do me a favor and type the city that you're calling in from, okay? I'd like to hear what city you are calling in from. Okay. Boy, this webinar tool is really giving us some issues here. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, here we go. That should get it going. Okay, what do we got? Let's do screen area. Okay, guys, you should be able to see my screen now. Just give me a yes, but actually, let me see where people are calling in from first. Okay, so we got Dallas. We got a lot of Dallas. We got Dallas, London, Chicago, Kelowna. I know who that is. And Kelowna, McKinney, Stockton, California, Dallas. Awesome. Falls. So a lot of people from Texas, not surprisingly. South Brunswick, New Jersey, Paris. Wow, Paris. Okay. Surrey, UK. Awesome. Okay. Great. Okay. Can you guys see the screen that I'm sharing? Just give me a quick yes. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started. So I will tell you one thing. Guys, this is not a super slick presentation. This is totally off the cuff. And, kind of like I said in my post, I'm just going to share with you what exactly I'm doing today. So this is not like a corporate presentation that I'm going to deliver to you. I just want to share with you exactly what I'm doing in this space, my story, and then I've got two very special friends and guests that were gracious enough to give us a little bit of their time. These folks pulled me into this world, and we're going to share their story, their perspective, and again, so mind the lack of polish. Just it's really about what people are really doing and not the theoretical, you can do this and you get that. I want to show you actually my screens. Hopefully we can get the webinar tools to work to share all that with you. I'll do my best on that, or I'll do screenshots, or I'll figure it out. So bear with me, get yourself a cup of coffee or a glass of water, close the office door or wherever you're sitting. You don't want to be distracted because there's going to be a lot of information that we're going to be sharing with you. And again, the whole purpose behind this is, many of you know me from Turo, many of you know me from real estate, many of you know me from Amazon, and this is just the latest thing. I'm super, super excited about it. Sometimes more excited than I should be, just because I see the returns and I see everything coming in, and at the same time, there's definitely a lot of hype about it. But we're going to talk about hype and reality and what we recommend, what you should do today, and how you can take advantage of it while at the same time managing risk. Because it seems like right now, all the stories are just positive or super, super hyped. And I think the reality of it is, as a mature investor, as a smart investor, you want to be able to take advantage of this without getting yourself into trouble. And that can happen really, really easily. People get too excited. So I'm going to give you an approach that I feel really good about, without pumping it up and doing promos and all that crazy BS, because I don't really like all that stuff. I really just like to get to the bottom line, the real numbers, and then just go from there, okay? All right, so again, I'm seeing some messages here that the webinar is full. Yes, it is full, and I apologize. Our quota has been reached, so we are recording this. We'll make this available after. So a couple of things I want to get started with. Number one, I know that a lot of people have asked me, is Bitcoin halal? And we'll talk about exactly what Bitcoin is and what exactly it means and all of that. And again, there's a lot of material, and I'm going to try to present as much as I can without packing in too much, because literally you could spend hours and hours on this. But I'm going to give you the salient points that were important to me to make these decisions. So right off the bat, I want to start with, is Bitcoin halal, or is it ethical? Is it just a trend? Is it just a way for the early adopters to make money? So on and so forth, okay? So from a Sharia standpoint, or from a halal standpoint, I will tell you that the finance industry, the traditional banking industry, et cetera, tend to move slow, okay? When it comes to compliance, when it comes to these large Islamic global organizations in the Muslim world, they tend to move slow, and that's because they want to make sure they uncover all the rocks. That's because they want to make sure they do the proper jurisprudence, and so they're very, very slow. The largest organization that I'm familiar with is an organization called IOFI. That's AAOFIA, something to that effect. If you Google them, you'll find out. This is the same governance body that determines what stock and fund is halal or not, and they base that on the basic principles of Islamic investing. So that would be banning any stocks that have to do with alcohol, with guns, with pornography, et cetera, with the ratio of debt, et cetera. Now, IOFI themselves have not come out and said anything about digital currencies. They've made some comments, but they have not come out and declared whether Bitcoin is halal or not. However, there is a rising tide, and there are a number of other organizations in the Islamic finance space that have gone ahead and declared it. And from my research, and I'm sharing with you on my screen just a few of them, from my research, it seems that there is a lot more Islamic finance companies or regulation or governance companies that seem to be agreeing to say that Bitcoin is halal, and it is something that is coming up in the Islamic world already, and they're leaning in the direction that it's going to be halal. So just a quick couple of quotes over here from Forbes.com. Brand new financial product coming from the Islamic world that combines the popularity of Bitcoin with the timeless value of physical gold. So 1 gram is actually a digital currency that was launched in the Middle East. I believe it's Dubai, but I'm not 100% sure. And they base their currency and they tie it to gold. Another quote there, the UAE has already got a Bitcoin exchange by the name of BitOasis, and they are also offering services like a Bitcoin wallet. Their BitOasis also offers services in Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia. There are also services in APAC region like Bitcoin Indonesia and Coinbox in Malaysia. This is, it really is a financial breakthrough model. It's revolutionary, and that's exactly what I'm seeing is more and more of these countries, more and more of these regulatory bodies in the Muslim world are declaring it to be halal. Now, the one other perspective that was important to me is talking to my own imam. And so I had this conversation with 2 actual imams in Texas, and I presented the story of Bitcoin to them, and they said, well, look, is it legal? And I said, yes, it's legal. Are you leveraging this as a, in a legal way? Is there anything that you're doing that's not unlawful? And I said, yes, it's pretty much similar to stocks and bonds. And so both of these guys came forward to me. Again, these are my personal contacts, came to me and said, at this point, we believe it's halal. Now, again, I'm always going to give you a dose of reality. That's my perspective. I believe that it is halal. I believe it is ethical. And I believe it is the way of the future. Can something change my perspective tomorrow? Absolutely. Can something happen to change that? Absolutely. And that's the reality of it. It happens. And if it changes, I'm perfectly fine to cash out and move on to something else. Okay, so, but I'm looking at this in the long term. So just to sum this up, my personal belief, and I'll underline that again, this is my personal belief based on the research that I've done, based on the global movement in the Islamic finance world, based on the conversations that I've had with Islamic financial experts here in the US. It is halal, and it is something that the world is moving towards. Digital currency, actually already exists. When you do your Visa, MasterCard, when you do PayPal, these are all digital currencies, okay? So, having said all of that, to me, that was the precursor to get into this whole game, because if it was not going to be Sharia compliant or ethical or halal, there's no point going further, no matter what the returns are. So that first bar to me was passed, and I feel confident, I feel really good and excited, and that's why I want to now share this with you and the rest of the world. Okay, I'm going to talk really quick about the potential here. And I'm going to do that just by sharing some quick numbers. So I've got Matt and Wally with me, and let me walk you through their numbers just really quick. And then at some point, Wally and Matt, I'm going to have you guys talk a little bit about your story. So let's start with my good friend Matt. So Matt is a Canadian, like myself. He's actually based in East Canada, and Matt and I have known each other for, I would say, maybe 2 years, Matt. We've probably known each other. I think we met in Florida at a Amazon Mastermind conference. Matt is a big-time Amazon seller, very successful, does really well. And Matt got into this game in the BitCoin space a few months ago. He invested $21.75 and he bought some Bitcoin, and he looked at the returns. We were actually looking at this today. The current value, and when he bought it, it was obviously pretty cheap 5 months ago or 6 months ago or whatever that was. And the current value right now, as we speak, is $19,250. And Matt, I don't know what you bought it at, but he bought it pretty cheap. And his return, if we run the numbers, sorry, let me get my screen here. Where did my screen go? Okay. His return, if he were to cash out today, he's looking at a return of $21,300. That would basically be a profit of $19,125 for an ROI of 879%, which is insane. You can't make that kind of money in Amazon. Now, he's not going to give up his Amazon business, neither am I. That's our bread and butter. But this is something that you cannot ignore when you see these kind of insane numbers. All right, and then let me share with you Wally's numbers as well. Okay, so Wally got into the game a little while ago as well. Wally started August of this year, and Wally put in 5,000 US. And then based on him purchasing Bitcoin, but also using a robo-advisor, a robo-trader, which we're going to talk about, this is really insane. It's hard to believe. I'm actually going to ask Wally to share his screens with you so we can actually show you this. But his return today, if he cashed out his entire Bitcoins and everything that he's got on the table, is 134,000 if he cashed it out. And I was almost afraid to calculate the gains and the ROI because it's kind of insane. You know, it's like after 200% return, you know, how do you explain the returns above that? And actually, this is wrong. The ROI is not 2,600, it's 26,000. So Wally put in 5,000. If he cashed everything out today, he would be walking away with 134,000, which is a gain of 129,000. His ROI is a insanity of 26,000%. And something really, really important. Wally has actually started withdrawing 25% of his daily earnings. So that means that if this is truly a crazy train, if this is chaos, he is doing the smart thing as an investor and he's putting money aside. Okay, so let's just say the worst case scenario, okay? Pigs fly, you know, it's the end of the world. Wally still has his cash on the side. So if this thing goes to zero, whatever, it doesn't matter because he's being smart, and that's part of the strategies that we'll talk about is going with your investment, but do something to mitigate that risk. Okay. And then let me tell you where I am today. So I actually got in really, really late. And I'm embarrassed to say this because I'm an IT guy. I should have known about this. About 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, I did actually look into it. And for whatever reason, I put it aside and I never really focused on it. And of course, like many of you, I'm sure, I really wish I had invested something. Even if I threw a couple of hundred at it, I can only imagine what that would be worth today. So I put in $5,000, and when I bought it, and this was 11 days ago, okay? So I really got in pretty late. 11 days ago, I bought in, it was December 6th, I believe. I put in $5,000. The value of Bitcoin was $14,336. The current value, and like I just shared with you, you can go check this on your own, is 19,000 and just a little under 400. Okay, so here you can see my receipt. Okay, so you can see here, there was the value when I bought it, 14,336. My subtotal 4951, total 5,000. That's how much I invested. So if I cash out, like just today, I just go ahead and cash out, I'm looking at a 35% gain, which is I'd be walking away with $1,700, just a little over $1,700 in 11 days. So you can't ignore that. Now, I've also put in another $5,000 with a robo trader. So you can buy Bitcoin and let it sit there and just wait to see what happens. And then in a parallel track, which is what I've done, I've bought some Bitcoin, but then I've also bought some robo trading algorithm software or platform where this is going to be trading on the ups and downs, okay? And it's really, really exciting. So I've got two different strategies going on, and that's actually what Matt and Wally are doing as well. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Okay, so having said that, let me now see if I can try to get the mechanics working here and introduce Matt and Wally to you guys and share their story with you. So Wally, I see you, and let me try to, if you want to turn on your microphone, and there we go. I see both of you guys. So Matt, why don't I start with you? If you can go ahead and turn on your audio and just say something if I can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep, I hear you. Okay, so so guys, this is Matt. Like I said, he's a good friend of mine, also an Amazon seller. Matt, why don't you take like 5 minutes, and we'll do that, Wally, with you as well. Why don't you take 5 minutes, Matt, and just kind of share your story about how you got into Bitcoin, why you got into Bitcoin, and why you are excited about it. If it's doable, if you can share your screens of your returns and what you're actually trading, that would be awesome. Now, again, I know with the webinar we're having some issues here. If you want to just send me screenshots on Facebook, if that's easier, then I can actually bring up the screenshots for you so you don't have to mess with any of that.
Sure. Do I need to get the screen from you? Is that, do that?
You know, I wouldn't, yeah, if you can, let me see here. I'm going to stop my desktop sharing. Okay. Now, why don't you turn on desktop sharing and see if that works.
Just give me one moment while I open this up.
Absolutely. All right, guys, bear with us. Matt is getting ready.
Okay. You guys see my screen?
We do see your screen. Yep. Now, if you want to just, pull your browser up to that. Perfect.
Great.
Okay. Guys, can you see Matt's screen? Just give me a yes if you can see Matt's screen. He's sharing his browser right now. Okay, we're getting yeses. Awesome.
Okay. Yeah,
All
like
right.
Liam said, we've been friends for a couple of years now, and we've been fairly involved in talking to each other about strategies and how to do a lot of things on Amazon. So, Amazon is my bread and butter. It's not something I'm going to leave to do this full time. But that being said, I've never ever seen returns on Amazon or anywhere else, as a matter of fact, like I'm seeing on Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin's been simply amazing, and I mean it's gone on quite a rush. So I bought in initially at around $4,000. I didn't buy a lot. I bought $2,100 worth of Bitcoin. Really, just sort of a small investment to test the waters. I learned about it from Wally, actually, who's on the call. And Wally was the one who told me that I need to get into this, that it's an amazing opportunity. I started looking into it, and I really haven't looked back. The technology that is behind Bitcoin is simply incredible. And Bitcoin is just one of many, many coins out there. There's a lot of investment opportunities in this space. There are Litecoin, there are Ethereum, there are other altcoins, there are ICOs, which are initial coin offerings. Are all great investment opportunities. But what I have up on my screen
Hey,
here
Matt,
is
I'm sorry. We're getting a lot of echo, and Wally may have his mic on. I'm going to turn my microphone off.
yeah, sorry. You're still getting that echo?
Yeah, we're getting an echo. I've turned my microphone off, but we're still getting an echo. Maybe turn your speaker down.
Sure. How's that? Is that any better?
Hey, Wally, do you have your speaker on? If you can turn your speaker and microphone off for now, Wally, because we're getting a lot of echo. Okay, Matt, go ahead and try it now.
Yeah. How do you hear me now, Lane?
Okay, sorry, I have to keep turning my speaker on and off. That sounds a lot better, and if you could just speak up, I think we're good.
Sure, I can speak up. Yeah, I was saying that, I really did test out the waters with Bitcoin. So, I mean, I learned about it initially from Wally. And I mean, this is only back in August, the end of August. Wally started telling me about this, about how well he was doing with it. And I really jumped on board to say, like, look at everything, to look at all the opportunities out there. I looked at Bitcoin trading to see if Bitcoin trading was something I would want to do. And really, for me, Bitcoin trading was another full-time job. I didn't really want to take on, I'm an Amazon seller full-time. I didn't want to take another full-time job. And I looked at altcoins, to see if like altcoins. So a lot of cheap altcoins out there you can get for 20 or 30 cents. You invest in these things, and some of them go through the roof and some of them go nowhere and disappear. So it seemed a bit riskier. So what Wally introduced me to was this company, USI Tech. With USI Tech, they you buy into a package. They do mining packages. So USI Tech takes your money and they use it for arbitrage trading, for Bitcoin mining, for a lot of different things. They're a really reputable company. They have 500,000 members. They've been rock solid since I've been using them. They've been perfect for everything that I've ever asked them for, any support question I've ever had, and every return has been perfect. So when I jumped on, Wally said to just put a bit of money in here and see how it goes. So I took $2,100 and I put it in, and I really didn't know what to expect. What happened was I ended up right here on my screen. You'll see active BTC packages. You buy these packages for 50 euros, for 50 euros, $60 US, pretty much per package. I bought 27 packages just to see what would happen. And about 3.5 months later, here I am. I just rebuy. I put all my money back in. Whenever they pay me out, they pay me out every single day. And I take that money that they pay me out and I put it back in. And I'm just compounding the money that I have in there. So, this is not money that I'm saying I'm going to invest long term or, I just put this money in and I said, I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to see if this actually does anything with my money. Well, this 124 packages that I have in here right now has turned into a value of about, today it's actually a little bit more. It was up to about $23,000 at one point. So part of that increase in value obviously comes from the fact that I bought Bitcoin at $4,000 and Bitcoin right now is closing in on $20,000. But I mean, the truth is, like, the experts are out there, they're talking about Bitcoin value, and Bitcoin is going through the roof. It's not going to stop anytime soon. There's a lot of push behind Bitcoin. The more research I do on it, the more I believe that Bitcoin is going to be a big part of our future for finances. So, I initially thought I was going to make some money on this and I was going to take it back out and bring it back in fiat currency. And I really don't think I am. I make my money on Amazon. I pay my bills on Amazon. And the money that I take out of this will become money that I store. And I'm going to plan to store it long term. Because, we're talking 2018 that Bitcoin could be 40 to 50,000. We're talking 2020 that Bitcoin could be $1 million Bitcoin. So if it is, you start out with a few coins right now, you want to get in on this before the masses do. Right now, it's really early in Bitcoin's life, and it's such an opportunity that we have right now. If we all collect a couple of Bitcoins, they could be worth a fortune in the future for us. So just to show you around a bit for this USI Tech, I can show you up here my, sorry, Bitcoin packages. So this will show, this screen will show me all the packages that I bought from the very beginning of time. So you'll see these ones where it says wallet. Those are the ones that I purchased back at the beginning. So, I purchased 3, 3, 2, 15, 1, and 3. And then the rest of these rebuys are just as time went on, that packages that I had, they would be paying me at 1% per day of the money that I put in. And this 1% per day ended up allowing me to rebuy more and more packages. And you'll see all the way up here, it's all rebuys, all rebuys, all rebuys, right to the top. And it just, I reached sort of a point where right now daily I'm making about $180 US. But it's growing at such a rate that in 2 or 3 months I'll be making $300 or $400 per day. And once I get this to around 300 packages, I'm going to do exactly what Wally's doing. I'm going to start taking out 25% of my money. And I expect that within about 20 or 30 days from that point, I'll have taken out everything that I have put into it. So, within another 2 months, I'll have taken out everything that I put into this, and I'll have a continuing income. A daily income that I can just work. I can leave in, I can make it grow, I can put more money into it, or I can take money out as I see fit. I'm very, very happy with it. It's been a great thing. I'm super happy that Wally got me into it. I'm super happy to show it to Naeem. I'm super happy that I can show it to any of my friends. Any of my friends. I've had a bunch of friends that I've shown this to, and a lot of them have taken me up on it, and some of them are doing amazing things with it. So, I just want to say thanks, Naeem, to get me on this thing. I mean, I'm really happy to share this with you guys, and hope you guys like it as much as I do. I'll move it over back to you, Naeem.
Hey, thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. Yeah, so if you want to go ahead, back on mute.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's I'm getting some echo here. All right. Okay. So there's a question here. I heard that USI Tech is a Ponzi scheme. I could be wrong, but many people have stated this. So we're going to talk about that for a minute. But before we get into who USI Tech is exactly and what their background is, I actually would like you guys to hear Wally's story and what Wally is up to. I kind of shared his numbers with you guys really high level, but I think it's more valuable if you hear it directly from Wally and what he's been doing. So Wally, can you take 5 minutes and just kind of talk about your experience with Bitcoin investing and USI Tech as well?
Yes, yeah, sure. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me? Oh, good. Okay. I'm getting a few S's there.
Wally, we seem to have lost your video and audio. If you want to, there you go. You've got your video now.
Can you hear me now, Neen?
Perfect. Yep, we can hear you. Are you able to share your screen?
Now, I'm not sure about this this click meeting. Which buttons do I need to
okay,
click
so
on?
yeah, so on the left-hand side.
Yep.
All right. In the top, you click those three little lines, and you should see in the menu desktop sharing.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. Click on desktop sharing, and then you can share your desktop.
Gotcha.
And if you just want to walk over your numbers, and specifically also if you want to talk about USI Tech, because a lot of people are leery of these MLM, type of programs, these get-rich-quick type of schemes, as they should be. So if you want to talk about that, that would be great.
Sure, of course. Yeah, I can understand that. Now, can you guys see my screen?
We can't see your screen yet. Did it give you an option to select a screen?
I have. Let me try it one more time.
Okay, go ahead and try it again.
Whiteboard, desktop sharing, and desktop sharing. Okay. How's that better? Can you see my screen at all?
It's trying to bring it up, but we don't see the screen yet. Was there an option to accept it or something?
How's that? Can you see that now?
It says, please wait while the presenter loads his screen.
Oh, okay, because I'm way down under, guys. So from Australia, the signal takes a little while to get back up to where you guys all are.
Right. All right. Okay. So if we can't share it, don't worry about it. You could just talk to it. That's fine.
I'll give you a bit of a rundown on how I was fortunate enough to stumble upon USI Tech and my favourite topic of Bitcoin. As Matt said in his preamble, there's been four or five of us together within our group, and I won't go into the details how we met, but it's a fairly complex thing. But having said that, I was fortunate enough to meet Matt and another couple of guys that were in Bitcoin, especially Lisa from New Zealand. And I was doing my Amazon work, and we always have Skype on, and Lisa and Matt were chatting away, and I just happened to look at the screen, and Lisa mentioned the word Bitcoin, and I thought, and they kept talking, and then Matt jumped in and he said, look, if I was going to do Bitcoin, I'd do mining. And I thought, well, I don't know what's going on there. So I just jumped in and I said, what the hell's Bitcoin? And they both said it's a cryptocurrency, sent me a few links, and the rest is history. I fell in love with Bitcoin. I did all my due diligence, made sure that I was comfortable with what I was doing. Let me just get out of this. Comfortable with what I was doing, and I opened up my account with $5,000 US, which enabled me at that time. Each coin was only worth $2,000. But having said that, at that time $2,000 was a lot because it had just reached an all-time high, coming from $100 a Bitcoin. So I thought, well, $2,000. I thought, well, I'll take the punt and let's try it. So I bought 89 packs, and it cost me $5,000 US. I currently have 824 packs, and it's increasing daily by 20 to 30 packs a day. And by the end of this year, I will have reached my goal of 1,000 packs, which is beautiful. And as I said to Matt earlier on, that once you reach that 200 pack level, the compounding starts very rapidly, and you really start to see the rebuys picking up. So my strategy going forward is once I reach that 1,000 packs, I'm going to start withdrawing 20%, not 25. I'm going to start withdrawing 20%, which currently my daily returns are anything from $1,800 to $2,000 daily. That's what I'm getting now currently with my 824 packs. Now, once I reach the 1,000 pack, it'll still enable me to withdraw 20%. And I'll tell you what I'll be doing with the 20%, but I'll withdraw 20%, but I want to retain that extra 80% so it keeps accumulating and maintains, and and more so, it'll increase my level of daily returns. But having said that, I'll pull the 20% out, I'll leave it in my wallet, and when there is an opportunity with another altcoin that comes up, because I love the cryptocurrencies, I love investing in altcoins. My history in my past life was I used to trade heavily in stocks, futures, options, and so forth, and I made a lot of money in those days, but I gave it all back, and my health was affected, so I got completely out of it until Bitcoin came along. But with Bitcoin and with USI Tech, it's all a passive thing. You don't have to do a thing. All you do is you invest your money and you see your daily returns. Now, these returns can vary from 0.75% to 1.25% daily, but on average, it's about 1%. And I love it when my daily return is over the 1%, because the funds that it enables you to purchase more Bitcoin or more packs, BTC packs. So that's my strategy. I will be withdrawing the 20% daily, and then I'll diversify my investments with alternative coins. One I've just purchased recently was Ripple, and I got in at 24 cents, and it shot up to 80 cents, which I'm happy with. It's pulled back a little bit, but that was just one of the coins that I thought was going to be a good investment. Now, someone mentioned the Ponzi scheme, and I think you touched on that, Naeem. I've heard, there's not many, there are a few interesting scammers out there that are calling USI Tech a Ponzi. Now, with USI Tech currently, it has in excess of 600,000 members, and they are signing up 5,000 members daily. Now, I would rather go with 600,000 members and say it's not a Ponzi, because 600,000 members, most of them would have done their due diligence, and they would not have invested anything that would possibly remote a Ponzi. So that has just been blown way out of the water. And from what I gather, there are a couple of guys out there that are actually employed on the quiet, under the table. They're employed by some of the opposition to go out and call USI Tech a Ponzi. So be rest assured, this is the real deal. I was fortunate enough to meet one of the co-founders. There's three guys that created this 12 months ago. And the guy that I met in the World Tour, the Australian contingent in Melbourne, where I live, and I was fortunate enough to have a bit of a chat with Ralph Gold. He's the brains of the mining, of the Forex trading, and he was a hell of a nice bloke, a real gentleman, a real guy, just a beautiful human being, no pretentiousness about him, nothing at all. He sort of portrays that image of, hey, it's what you see is what you get. I'm not pretending. I'm very wealthy before we started this, and I sort of warmed up to people like that because they are there. They are going out meeting people. They're not behind a screen or on a telephone call or somewhere in the Bahamas saying, "Trust me, trust me." But they're out doing their thing every day, being interviewed, meeting people, and so on. So yeah. So what I can say, guys, is I've been doing this for about 5 months now. The returns are insane, as Naeem and Matt both mentioned, but they are real. They are real. And I keep saying to anyone that I speak to regarding USI Tech and Bitcoin, what we have here is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I'm being very, very, very honest and sincere here. I would also say that you guys will never ever have an opportunity like this in a lifetime to enable you to be in a position to create wealth beyond our dreams, beyond your dreams. You can set yourself up for life, and it would only take 1 or 2 years with strategies, and of course there are ways of doing it, which I'm sure Naeem will get into this a little bit later on. But I can say this, that I can strongly and highly recommend USI Tech because they are real people. And in fact, last night I watched a video clip of Horst Jaker. He's the CEO of USI Tech. And it was the human side of Horst. I've seen him many times on videos and being interviewed by various parties. But this was a guy, a family guy, and the way he portrayed himself, he again, no pretense whatsoever. What you see is what you get. He said, and I probably would advise you, maybe I might be able to get the link out to Naeem, and he can perhaps put it out to you guys. It's a must-watch if you have any reservations about who's behind USI Tech, and if you hear the CEO talking from his heart, and he wears his heart on his sleeve, and his passion is to try to make as many underprivileged kids. This is his passion, underprivileged kids, and he wants to bring as many of these children out of poverty in his short time that he'll be involved with USI. So that's all I could probably say. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to share the screen because I'm not computer savvy, and I could have done it on Skype, but these click meetings I'm not really familiar with. So at least I've given you a little bit of input on where I am and what I'm doing.
Hey, awesome. Wally, really appreciate it. If you can just turn off your mic. Okay, great. All right, thank you so much. Guys, I'm sorry, I don't know why you're seeing him small. I wanted to make him full screen, but again, I'm just having trouble with this tool. I really think I need to find a better tool. So I want to share with you guys next. So you've heard from Matt, you've heard from Wally. I've known Matt for over 2 years. Matt has known Wally quite a while. I've met Wally recently. You know, these are these guys are not marketers. These guys are not into trading all day. They're basically Amazon sellers, just like myself and probably many of you. And this is something that they've come across and they've seized the opportunity. So I want to do a quick info session for about 10 minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes on USI Tech and address that question, because that's, I think, absolutely critical. Who is USI Tech? Why are they worth your time? And what are the risks? What's the background of this company? Okay, so I'm going to go through this really quick. I'm not going to go through the whole presentation. I think I'm not going to talk too much about what Bitcoin is. I think everybody does know what Bitcoin is. There's a lot of great documentaries and YouTube videos on the background of Bitcoin and where it came from and who started it. There's actually a really good documentary on Netflix called Banking on Bitcoin, and I'm going to just type it here. I really think it's worth watching. It's called Banking on Bitcoin, and it's on Netflix. It might already be on YouTube as well. I highly recommend you guys watch that. It's kind of nice for those of us who are techies, or not even techies, but just anybody who has an interest in this, to get the whole story and understand the origins and the source and where this got started from, etc. Okay, so let's come back to USI Tech. All right, so again, we can see the hockey stick or the exponential curves that we're seeing in terms of its value, where it started from, and where it's going. Here is a couple of strategies that we've talked about. So number one, buy and hold for the long term. Okay, and that's kind of what we are doing, the three of us are doing with some of our money in Bitcoin. And then number two, Bitcoin mining. I know some people get into that. Honestly, it's not something that I'm going to get into. I don't think Wally or Matt are getting into it either, because it's involved pretty heavily in time and technology, and none of us really have time for that. Number three, however, this is an area that we are playing in, and that's really USI Tech, which is trading. And again, we're not trading directly ourselves, but we're letting USI Tech trade for us via their robo and automated algorithms, taking advantage of the swings, highs and lows. Okay, so some famous quotes and people behind the whole Bitcoin revolution. Sir Richard Branson, heavily behind it. And again, you can see him on YouTube, on the big media channels talking about it, why he's so excited about it. Peter Thiel, big guy in the Valley, Silicon Valley, and he's heavily invested into it. He's the co-founder of PayPal. Ashton Kutcher, as I'm sure many of you know this guy, he invests in a lot of leading technologies. He's heavy into it. This is interesting. So Christine Lagarde, and I'm sure you've seen her on any of the finance television networks. So she's the current head of the IMF. So that's kind of telling, right? This is the International Monetary Fund. She's the head of this, and she endorses Bitcoin. So that should really, tell you quite a bit about where this is going. All right, and then, okay, and again, we're not going to get into the technology. I will share this presentation afterwards if you really want to dig into some of this. Okay, mining, we talked about that. Exchanges, wallets, this is really good information, but again, you can get a lot of this information on your own. There is a growing number of Fortune 1000 companies globally that are now beginning to accept Bitcoin. I truly believe that it's kind of a novelty and it's kind of cutting edge for a company to say, hey, we accept Bitcoin. Look, the reality of it is your next door neighbor is not walking around with a digital wallet and is going to pay with Bitcoin, okay? It's a novelty, and that's us being transparent. That's me being transparent, okay? Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Your corner store is not accepting Bitcoin. However, the early adopters are accepting it, and it's a movement, and you will see more and more organizations and your mom and pop shops that do accept Bitcoin. So this is a trend, and we're kind of on that crest, on that cutting edge of that trend. Bitcoin to be accepted at 260,000 stores in Japan by the summer. And by the way, don't think that America is necessarily on the forefront of adoption. They're going nuts in South Korea, Japan, and probably other places that I don't even know about. But there are places where this is just catching fire much faster than the U.S. All right. I was talking about Visa and MasterCard. Again, it's the same thing. These are all digital currencies. Okay, just some background on USI Tech. Who are these guys that started it? So, Dubai-based international company, and if any of you have had any experience with Dubai, so Dubai is one of those countries that, it's not, it's very difficult to run a con game in places like Dubai. They don't really mess around. They're going to do a lot worse than just throw you in jail. So if somebody was going to start up a con game, Dubai is probably the worst place that you would start a company and try to steal people's money. So that's telling. If you heard that this company was based, and I don't want to pick on a particular company or country, sorry, but if this was based out of certain countries in Africa, yeah, I would be a lot more leery. And again, I'm not trying to pick on those countries, but I'm just saying Dubai is an international global hub and has very high standards when it comes to the fintech industry. Development team with USI Tech has been around for 20 years with a tremendous amount of experience. They started with Forex trading. I believe they were the largest software for Forex trading. So again, this is not an organization that just started up and said, hey, this Bitcoin thing, let's take advantage of it. They've actually been in the finance industry, trading, algorithms, robo trading, etc., for over 20 years. So they've got a long legacy, they've got a long history. The founders of it have a long tradition and experience in the industry. All right, so these are the three guys that run it. Like Wally said, he has actually met with one of the founders. Sorry, Wally, I don't remember which one you said, but he has sat down with some of these guys. Wally's attended one of their global conferences, but basically you can read their portfolios. These guys have been in the business 20 plus years, very heavily involved, a lot of respect globally. Okay. Now you heard about packages, and Matt mentioned how he's invested in some packages. Wally mentioned this, and again, I'm not going to get into this now because there's a lot of details here. What I will tell you, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up in the next couple of minutes because I do want to leave some time for questions and answers for you guys. But what I will tell you is there will be opportunities after this meeting where I can sit with you. If I could be forward enough to ask for Wally's time and Matt's time, you know, if they volunteer, they're willing to sit with you and give you their perspective, answer questions, etc., to answer all these questions for you guys. The one thing that I would say is speed is of the essence. Anytime there is an opportunity, success rewards action takers. So you want to jump in there and do that. Now, don't take this as a marketing pitch. Look, guys, at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you anything stupid like, cash out your kid's education fund. Take part of your retirement fund and do this. Look, we are all blessed. We're successful enough in our Amazon businesses, but this is an opportunity that's too good not to share. I will say, take some money that you can afford to lose. I say that transparently in any venture that I bring people into. Okay, don't put anything that's going to bring risk or harm to your family. But everybody has a little bit of nest egg, or not a nest egg, but a little bit of liquid funds that they can play with. Okay, so you don't need to get in with $10,000 like I did. You don't need to get in with $5,000. You can get in with a couple $100. It doesn't matter. Obviously, the more you put in, the more advantage you can take of that compounding effect. But it really doesn't take thousands of dollars. You can get in for a few $100s. So my suggestion is take some money that you can afford to lose, put it in, and then do the smart thing like Wally's doing. Okay, once you see the returns that you want to see, begin to pull some of that out. And now you're basically just playing with profit. Even if you lose it all, even if it is a ridiculous Ponzi scheme, which I've just showed you why it's not, because we've done our research, then who cares? Okay, you're just playing with profit. That's the way I see it. I look at my best case scenario and I look at my worst case scenario. My best case scenario is I'm still getting in pretty early, just like Wally and Matt. My worst case scenario, and by getting in early, I'm reaping the rewards, which again, I'm already seeing those rewards. I could cash out now and walk away with a beautiful 30% return. My worst case scenario is I go ahead and put the money in. I start taking some of the profits. I start liquidating some of my profits and put it aside. So my capital invested is out. Now I'm just playing with profits. If it crashes and burns, which would really be surprising to me, then I haven't lost anything, because I'm not sitting there with my time mining this thing every day. I'm not sitting there looking at my ticker. It's a passive investment. I have an Amazon business to run. Matt does, Wally does. We don't have time to manage this thing. Okay, so that's my worst case scenario. A couple more things, and then I'm going to go ahead and open this up to questions. So guys, just to put this into perspective, we believe in hard money having value. But let me show you something. I could show you, all of you guys, a way right now to turn you into billionaires in one day. I keep something in my wallet that I'm going to share with you guys. Okay, here's my wallet. Because we believe in money so much, I keep this in my wallet. All right, can you guys see what this is? All right, can you guys see what this is? All right, read it carefully right here, okay? This is $5 billion, guys. And yes, Wasif, your comment, Zimbabwe currency, absolutely correct. If you read that, it's the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. And Wasif says it's worthless. Absolutely true. This is hard currency, okay? This has, at times, the same amount of volatility as any other currency. So this is just an example I'm sharing with you. Now, obviously, this is an outlier, right? I wouldn't be saying this about the US dollar. But my point is that there is volatility in every investment. And I keep this with me just kind of to illustrate a point. And, you know, my 11-year-old kid, you know, I've given one of these to him. I said, hey, you want to be a billionaire? Here you go. Because he said, I want to be a billionaire. I'm like, okay, well, carry this in your wallet and you're a billionaire. Okay, so my point in this is that there is volatility in every market, whether it's stocks, whether it's our Amazon business, whether it's the US currency or some other currency, things go up and down. The smart people get in there and they take advantage of the ups and downs and they get in early. And this is really the opportunity for you to do that while being smart and mitigating your risk. And again, I keep coming back to that. You know, I personally don't want to hear anybody about saying, man, I borrowed $5,000 to invest with you. If you tell me that, I'm going to tell you, look, I don't want you to invest with me. That's just not responsible. All right. We are going to create a Facebook group. Guys, Matt is actually creating a Facebook group. And the purpose of that group is going to be to help you and answer your questions because we've only got so much time over here. To help you get in with USI Tech and to also help answer any questions that you may have. And then let me just switch my screen here and give you some information. Okay. Okay. For those of you that are ready to take action, here is the link that you can go in there and create an account immediately. I will give you my email as well. I'm going to put this in the chat. Okay, there's the link. And there's my email, okay? So for those of you that are ready, go ahead and create an account and start your investment today. It's never too late. The best time to invest in Bitcoin was 5 years ago. The second best time is today. And take advantage of it. Like I said, I just joined 11 days ago and it was 14,300 and it's at 19 something. So, you know, you want to get in pretty quick. So we're going to create a Facebook group where we'll share information, answer questions, and you want to go ahead and join via this link. You're going to have to create an account on Coinbase or anywhere else to go ahead and buy some Bitcoin. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can do partial. You can start with $200, but you need to go ahead and buy some Bitcoin and then fund your account. And then you start taking advantage of the compounding effect, okay? So let me go ahead and open it up to some questions, and we'll do that for about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and then we'll close out the meeting. Okay, guys, just start typing a question. I'm gonna run through it. If you have a question for Wally or Matt, chime in as well. Okay, perfect. So Matt just shared a link. And I'm going to copy this link here and put it in the presentation. Matt just shared a link that, For some reason, I can't copy it from the chat. You can join the Facebook group. That's where Wally's going to hang out, Matt's going to hang out, I'm going to hang out, and we will answer all your questions. I'll put the recording there. I'll put presentations there, etc. So I see the questions have begun to come in. And again, if you have a question for Matt or Wally, throw their name in there, and they will answer the question as well. So let's go ahead and start. So Kashi says, hey, Naeem, why are you getting into MLM? Didn't expect that from you. Okay, so Kashi, I've explained for about 15 minutes why I'm getting into USI Tech. Is it MLM? I think it is a form of MLM. I did MLM 15 years ago. To me, this is something completely different, and for all the reasons that I've outlined. Khalid says, what are your future investments you were looking at now? So future investments in terms of Bitcoin, I don't have time to figure out which ICO is good, which altcoin is good. I just don't have the time. And that's the reason why I'm doing USI Tech, is because I want them to figure it out for me. I want them to be on the right highs and lows and take advantage of those. Wally mentioned Ripple. Any others? So guys, there are over 1,000 altcoins, and to get into any specific strategy, we can talk about some of those in the Facebook group, but again, it's pretty wide open. Okay, do we need to go through this link or go to their website and sign in? Okay, so let me explain that. You could go directly to USI Tech website and sign up, but here's what happens. If you sign up, this is an affiliate link, all right, in all transparency. When you sign up, you're basically signing up to become part of Matt, Wally, and my network, okay? And why should you do that, right? Why should you help us? Because we're going to take a little commission from your investment. Why is that important? Well, your cost is the exact same if you go directly to them or you sign up here. So there's no disadvantage for you to do this. However, the advantage is this. Wally and Matt and I are putting in time to develop tools such as the Facebook group, a sales funnel that Matt is actually finishing up, and we're going to be bringing in a crowd. So what that means is you can either join and sit there, by yourself without too much of a network, maybe you and a couple of friends, or you can join a giant network that we are building with tools and technology and our connections and our references, where you're taking advantage of that tree, okay? So that's the big advantage why you should join this link directly versus going direct to USI Tech. All right, is it easy to cash out your profits from USI or general? Wally, if you could turn your mic on and answer that question. Is it easy to cash out your profits from USI in general?
Yeah, very easy. Good question. When I first started to withdraw, I had the withdrawals within 12 hours, but the fact that there's now in excess of 600 members, and I would envisage that there'd be quite a number that would be doing exactly the same as what I have been doing, what I'm doing now. It takes generally about 24 hours to, a little bit earlier, but I always allow about 24 hours for the withdrawal to come through. But it's all transparent, and if for any reason it doesn't go through, or perhaps you have put in a incorrect address, the funds simply, they don't get lost in the ether, they simply bounce back into your account. So it's a very, very safe system.
Great, thanks, Wally. Okay, guys, let's get a few more questions in, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Okay, what is a robo-trader? So, real simple, a robo-trader is basically using computer algorithms to take advantage of the fluctuations of the value of these Bitcoins. So, you want to buy when it's taking a dip, and then you want to sell when it's higher. You take advantage of that. There's, again, a lot of great YouTube videos on robo-trading in general. It gets done for stocks all the time. All right, is there any withdrawal limit? Wally, can you provide some examples of robo-traders? Wally, do you want to talk about that really quick? Is there any withdrawal limit?
Sure. You can withdraw up to 2 withdrawals per day, but you're limited to what your balance is in your account. So, as an example, you may have 0.005% of a Bitcoin. Now, if the withdrawal section allows that amount to withdraw, you can withdraw 100% of that. So in actual fact, you have to build up your daily profit to a point that will enable you to be able to withdraw, and you can do 2 withdrawals per day. So what I was doing, I would accumulate my 20% or 25% profit that I wanted to withdraw. I'd accumulate that for the 5 days and then withdraw one complete hit. So, and it's very, very simple. The other question was robot. Well, you've answered the robot. Is there? Can we provide examples of robo traders? Not really. Look, there's quite a few out there. None come to mind just offhand, but with what USI Tech and with Ralph Gold, he's the chap that I met in Melbourne. He's a guru in Forex trading, which is a robo system, and of course Bitcoin trading, which is a robot system also. And it works off algorithms. It's a very clever system. And when they created the Forex many, many years ago, they were doing some tremendous numbers. And in fact, some of the big global institutions that were in the Forex markets employed USI to trade for them. And we're talking about not $20,000 or $30,000, not $100,000 lots. We're talking about $500,000 to over $1 million trades in the Forex. So they know this stuff. But to give you an example, no, I can't just offhand. I couldn't. But if you go into YouTube and just punch in robot trading, there's a wealth of information out there, and they'll give you a bit of an idea what goes on there.
Great, thanks, Wally. Okay, a couple of other questions here. So could you tell us what does USI Tech exactly do? How does this benefit us? Okay, so at a high level, USI Tech is basically an affiliate system where you are, and well, correct me if I'm wrong here, where you are basically earning you're earning money by investing with them. They are doing the auto trading and taking advantage of that. And you are also earning by bringing other people into the network. So I myself, I'm part of Matt's network. Matt is part of Wally's network. And down the line, we're all making a little bit of money. Traditionally, this is known as MLM and affiliate marketing. We're all making money because USI Tech is working with these algorithmic trading systems, and they are making a lot of money. And so the more people we bring in, the more money we bring to them, everybody makes money. Anything you want to add to that, Wally?
No, Naeem, you hit the nail right on the head. But I just wanted to share this one thing with what USI are doing with their mining of Bitcoin. They once set up, which will be very early in the new year, they will have their own facilities, their own machines to mine Bitcoin. And we won't go into mining, how mining operates. Again, YouTube will fill you in on that. But once they're up and running, they are going to be one of the top 10 miners globally. And that's a really, really big effort. And what they intend to, they envisage they will be doing approximately $50 to $80 million per month in mining Bitcoin. Now that's nothing to sneeze at. Now that's just one aspect of what they do. So you can now start to understand how they can actually give us returns that they are making, that we're making now. So they have got a lot of grunt in the system, and that's just it's incomprehensible to think that a company can make that sort of money, but it's true, and it's all going to be transparent. All these mining transactions will be all available on the internet. So there's nothing under the table. It's all going to be there for anyone to see.
Lane, I wouldn't mind jumping on here just to say one more thing. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely, Matt. Go for it.
Okay, yeah. You don't need this. This is a totally passive system, and you don't need to enroll anybody to make a lot of money with this. I mean, on my account, I've told just a couple people, I've told a couple friends about this, but you know, I don't have a huge downline of people that have signed up with me. Most, you know, the majority of the money that I've reinvested into this has all been from the initial money that I put in. So the money that I put in, the fact that Bitcoin has risen in price, and it's been totally passive. I mean, I've told a couple friends have invested, and otherwise, you know, it really is passive. And you know, you can look at this in two ways. You can go into this and say, I'm going to go and sign up a lot of people, and you can get, you know, you can make a lot of money. People are making, you know, more than full-time incomes doing this. You can also go into this and say, I'm just going to invest, you know, a certain amount of money in this. And I mean, some people we know have invested $20,000, $30,000 in this. And, you know, 3 months later, they're pulling money back out at a phenomenal pace. Because USI Tech pays you out a lot more. You know, they're paying you 40% over 7 months on top of your money. So anything you put in, you're making a lot more money on that. You're doing way better than you're ever going to do, like in stocks, trading, anything else that I've found. You're doing better at this passively without enrolling a single other person.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. So that's a really good point. This does not require a effort. This is really passive, as Matt is saying. Just put your money in. Again, money that you can afford to invest, and put it on the side and let it grow. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Can I just add one thing that
absolutely
Matt mentioned? I know of people, not personally, but I know of them that have actually signed up with USI Tech and did not even buy one package. They signed up with USI Tech and they started recruiting, and obviously they had quite good recruiting skills and marketing in this game, and they have made their millions just out of recruiting. One person I know of started off, and in the first, let me get this right, first 30 days to 60 days, they recruited 160,000 members. So that's where the power can come in. And as Matt said, you don't have to. You can either recruit or you don't need to recruit. So there's no prerequisite with USI Tech. You can either recruit or you can just sit there, just do the passive thing. Thanks, Steve.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Wally. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So just to summarize, in my opinion, digital currency, specifically Bitcoin, is halal. It's ethical. Based on my research that I've seen, I see a tremendous amount of experts, global experts in the field, beginning to agree with that. The local imams and local experts spoken to in country here feel the same way. This is too big of a wave not to miss. I think that just like .com, just like real estate, there can be bubbles, there can be ups and downs, but if you're smart, you get in early, you have a risk mitigation strategy where you start pulling your principal out, and then after that, it's really just profit. And you're playing with profit. So at that point, worst case scenario, who cares if there is a bubble burst, or who cares if it sinks down to pennies on the dollar? It doesn't matter. because if you do it smart, this is still very, very early in the game. We have created a Facebook group that you can see on the screen right now, and I've also shared it in chat. You have my email that you can reach out to me directly, and then also you have the link for those of you that are ready to go ahead and start. Again, the earlier you start, the faster you can begin to accumulate that profit and pull out your principal. Thank you very much for your time, guys. I'm super pumped about this. Again, at the same time, totally passive. I still have an Amazon business and real estate business and a lot of other businesses to run, just like Matt and Wally and many of you, I'm sure. So we don't sit here and just play with Bitcoin all day, but we're smart enough to get in and passively invest and reap the reward. So I hope you appreciated this. I hope you take responsible action and don't sit on the sidelines if that's what you've been doing. This is your opportunity to jump in there. I will make this recording available and you can go through it. I will make the PowerPoint deck available so you can go through that. And again, enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, Monday morning for those of you around the world. And we will talk to you soon. Happy investing. Take care, everybody.